Hey Marty, how you doing? How's it
I'm doing
going?
good. How you doing?
We're here. It's almost the end of the year. We got a couple more days to go, and we're
Yeah.
so close to hitting that that 1,500
Oh, we're
subscriptions
this
subscribers.
close.
Just this close,
This
or
close.
yeah, we're getting this much closer. But yeah, we're almost there. I mean, so Coffee Tech Talk Tuesday. This is with John and Marty every Tuesday. This is our 20th episode. I don't have
Big 20.
yeah, it's huge. And like since September, we've been having these shows every week, kind of talking about coffee stuff from basically from the time that the coffee plant starts to the time that the coffee plant or the coffee drink stops in your stomach. We haven't really talked about what happens after you drink it, but maybe we'll get to that someday. Yeah.
Hey, who knows? Who knows?
And
Uh,
today we're going to talk a lot about kind of we're gonna do some refractions or reflect. I'm sorry, reflecting on 2020. And I was gonna
okay.
try to make a bad joke there, it didn't work. God, I gotta stop doing that. But so since September, we've been trying to, like this the whole YouTube thing is brand new, right? Like Dietrich one day was like, "Hey John, you should just start a YouTube channel about coffee." And I'm like, "Oh, no, I don't want to do that." And then and then I was thinking like, but I would do it if I found somebody that I could share and co-host and really kind of like seek more knowledge and kind of expand, you know, how we approach these topics. And I was like, oh, hey Marty, you wanna chat online every week on Tuesday and
I'm like, nah,
not get paid for it
I'm
and do
afraid
it
of
for
that.
free, volunteer all this time and every day. So how's it
I'll,
going?
I'll
Yeah.
tell you what, from my perspective, and you said this, we've said it a few times. One of the things that you and I both absolutely enjoy is going to the SCA and going to not just there, but other coffee events. And you end up seeing people that you haven't seen since the last time at an event. They're our coffee family that we only get to see at special events or sometimes once a year. Well, 2020, it sucked for that. It was not good for socializing and seeing and hugging our family. So
Yeah.
um, this this I mean, if you look back at the people that we've had on and that have called in and have asked questions and have uh, just gotten on board with this, it's a little. It feels really good.
You know what? I don't even remember everybody we've had on the show. That's how bad my memory is. So maybe Dietrich could take us through reflections of the YouTube shows that we've had these episodes. But you're right. I mean, Marcus is right here on
Yeah,
the slide in front, like and he threw down and matched our goal to get to more subscribers and sending money to GoFundMe along with Bruce
sure.
Magazine and ourselves. And today we're going to do it live on the
Yeah,
show. I'm going to get out my phone. I'm going to type some numbers. We're both going to throw down
yeah.
250, which makes 500, and that's I think actually we might even get our stimulus checks tonight overnight. So you know it's like why not, right?
Yeah, just
So
pass it on. Pay it forward.
pay it forward. We're up to 220 very
You know
important
what?
subscribers.
That's not
Really,
bad.
yeah, that's not bad at all. I
That's
mean,
not bad.
you know, and this is GoFundMe. We're going to talk about that in a little minute. Hey, there we are.
Hey,
This is one of my first graphics. You know what that is? What is that?
which part? I mean, there's
The
I
two nuts
what
on top of a boiler.
the two nuts on top of a boiler. I love that.
Okay, so Marty, I want to talk about growth strategy.
Oh, how
We gotta
corporate are
we
we?
gotta talk about this. Like, I know this is kind of like the boring part of just like we got to sit down and just kind of like plan out the next year, kind of see like what our strategy is and what our growth potential would be. It's like, are we in the right market? Is coffee where we should be, or is there some other thing we should talk about? Uh,
Maybe
but
stand up.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like, and we're gonna have to look forward to like what kind of guests are we gonna have on the show. We're gonna have that coming up too, and what do we want to share with the community? What does the community want us to share with them? So give us a call. Let us know like what information or topics that is might be of interest. And I know that the tech word or the technology word might be a little I don't know, like
Well,
like a little, inside the box. Let's get out
I
of there.
can see that, but let's just put that to rest. And I also know that a lot of people that know me know that I'm a wrench turner. That's what we do, and that would lend kind of supporting what you're saying is that maybe they're thinking this is a technical thing that we're going to only talk about fixing coffee equipment. But no, that's not it. It's tech is, I mean, you can get really technical on
Last
how
week
you fertilize ground.
or last week, how you like pour water over coffee bed. I mean, we talked an hour and a half. It was like
Yeah.
longest episode about just how to pour water over a coffee bed, and it was
It was great
pretty
too.
cool. It
Love
was,
that.
and I was like thinking like, oh, we got to have the next episode would be about espresso, and maybe have one of your friends on the show that might know something about espresso.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
maybe we can call up some people, or you can call up some folks and get them on the show to tell us how to pull a shot of espresso. That'll be a good episode. Can't wait for that. So
Yep.
if you're out
Yep.
there and you want to be on the show to do that, give Marty and I a call. So yeah, get in touch with us.
Well, we've brainstormed a lot of things, and one of the things that we talked about was having someone here in the U.S. that knows coffee, knows what they're doing, is real excited about the cutting edge of whatever's hip going right now, and then while they're on the show, also have someone from another country,
Oh, that's right.
basically representing their country on those thoughts and ideas. And so, if you're interested in maybe collaborating a little bit and bouncing ideas and what works for you and see and
Cool.
want to listen to what
Was
happens overseas.
didn't we have like an idea of like having a throwdown, but an international throwdown,
Yeah,
and kind of having that like maybe someone from Korea would like to join the show, and maybe we can get someone from Missouri to join the show at the same time, and just have like a
I think it'd
exchange
be
of coffee
great.
ideas, right? Like
Yeah, yeah,
going on in the coffee culture in Japan, or I don't know, inside like wherever, like Indonesia, or wherever you just throw something on the globe, and wherever it sticks, we're going to call two people, and hopefully there's someone. Maybe hopefully it's not the ocean, which would be kind of hard, but you never know. But yeah, so subscribe to our channel. That always helps us. That's going to help us grow these ideas in the audience and get more people engaged. And I want, I want to, spread the word. And I think we've got some really great shows coming up, Marty. Even just the next 3. We have a schedule now. This is
yeah.
nuts.
It's been real exciting to see who we've talked to. One that we've asked that I've yet to talk to someone that didn't say, "Oh, absolutely, I love what you guys are doing," and so that kind of support's great. But we've also had people reach out to us that we hadn't thought of, and they just kind of come out of the woodwork, and some of them have already been on great guests.
Well, hey, so we've got Rachel, Dickinson from La Marzocco.
I'll tell you what,
Rachel,
Rachel,
right?
it's going to be a great show. Rachel will bring it.
It's a great show every time I call the technicians in Seattle, and she's on the phone. I if I'm ever, in a situation that I need, a little bit extra, like explanation or a part, or just some like honest feedback about different parts of the functionality of equipment or anything, solenoid
Sure.
explanation. So calm, so collected, and take someone like me, and it's perfect. I just feel like
Yeah.
I'm being taken care of perfectly. So, well, we're gonna talk a little bit more about topics later on. We're gonna kind of get that presentation together this week, because we're kind of all in the holidays. We don't want to think too much, but we know that La Marzocco is coming back on the show, and we might reflect on the last one that we had
Yeah.
with Nick. Next one, Caravella Coffee, William Ortiz, January 12th. So,
Another great lot of perspective there.
and another Missouri connection, I think, a little bit.
Mhm.
Someone that works there used to live in Missouri, right? Maybe. So
Yes.
this is going to be an interesting show, because I kind of called them up. It's like, hey, I want to talk about technology that's used on the field, processing, or even during harvest, but simple technologies, things like, I was in Peru at one point, and I was going around, this is for graduate school. I was kind of like looking at different types of technologies used on the farm to, assess like whether or not like, parchment has been dried well enough.
Mhm.
So, they don't have, like not everybody has like a moisture reader or all this other these types of gadgets and, a lot of money to buy these tools. So what do? They take up the parchment and they bite it. And they say, that's not quite done yet. I'm like, well, when will it be done? What percentage their moisture? They're like, well, it's not quite hard enough. And, it's interesting how some farmers, and some producers, were very calibrated with the actual moisture reader that I carried along, and I took notes. The same parchment samples, and I did it 3 times, and try to gauge like how closely calibrated were they to the actual percentage of was it like 18 to 14%, depending on how they're delivering their parchment.
Sure.
How accurate were they? And oftentimes they were very accurate. Sometimes they were not. And it was a kind of clusters in each community and who we were talking to that kind of influenced that accuracy and also longevity and stuff like that. So, but he's going to talk about floating cherries, the cleanliness, simple just cleanliness of equipment,
Yeah.
a little bit of fermentation time, and something like 2 hamper by picker. I don't know what that means, but like in
Guess we'll learn.
yeah. So next on January 12th, we're going to get to know a little bit more about how coffee is processed. Yeah, where
Can't wait.
coffee is grown. So that'll be a good one, right?
That will be a great show.
And this next one, I think might be one of your favorites here. Let me see if I get this one. Ernex.
Well,
Talking about keeping it clean.
what Maria is, she'll be a great guest. She's a beautiful human being. Um, has been with Ernex a long time and has done wonders for the coffee industry. Um, but I do have, well, I mean, we're constantly using their products and stuff, the industry, and they've always, I can't think of an event out there, a major event, that there's not some sort of sponsorship. So they've been very, very active in the community, if you will, in the coffee community. But I do have a story. Are you ready for a story on this kind of preface? And
Yeah, please let me know because like this is just like Kafiza, right? That's all this is, right?
Well, the reason they say it's Ernex Brands because they make a lot of products. They make a lot of things. We'll let Maria talk about all of that. But
what's your story about? I want to hear about it.
Well, my story is definitely about espresso cleaner. And there's a lot of different brands. They make Kafiza, but like I said, there's a lot of brands. And I don't care what brand you use. I'm not married to that, but it's got to work. And so we take care of some super automatic machines. And there's one characteristic that happens if they're not using any cleaner, any espresso cleaner tablets, or if they're using the wrong stuff. And what I mean by the wrong stuff is every manufacturer says that they should use their suggested brand of stuff.
Right.
But there's also stuff out there that says it works and it just won't work. Just won't work. And so I was at a store. They had a machine that the coffee outlet, the last little leg before the coffee, the espresso gets in the cup, was 100% clogged up. And that area, the only way you can really clean that is take it apart as a technician or do your daily cleaning with cleaner, because that's your first line of defense, to keep that line and those little fittings clean. And we know if they're not using cleaner that clogs up. So I cleaned it out, got them all running. And so they asked, what can we do? What do you think caused that? And I said, well, I see this a lot, and I believe you may not be using cleaner. They go, we're using cleaner, but we ran out of the cleaner that we're supposed to use, and we've been using this for a couple months. And they brought out the tablet, and I don't know if you can see that.
Tabs, yeah. Is that the grinds tabs?
Well, no, but it's and the bottle said specifically espresso machine cleaner, and the tablet was about the size of the tablet that they have if they're using the brand,
right,
the manufacturer's brand. And so what I did was I said, okay, have you got any at all of your other stuff, or I can go out to the truck and I can get some of the right stuff for you. I want to do a side-by-side comparison while I'm standing here to show you guys what's going to happen. And so I found two of their metal shot glasses that were filthy, stained on the inside. So they had a second machine. I wanted to clean it up. It wasn't clogged up to the point that they were calling on it, but it was clogged up. So I needed to address that. So I said, while I do that, let's put your cleaner in one of these shot glasses, and we'll put the right cleaner in the other shot glass, and we'll just let them set. We're not going to do anything with them. We're just going to let them set. So I cleaned their machine up, got it going, walked back over, grabbed the two shot glasses, gave them a little swirl, dumped them out, and I'm looking at it blind too. I know which one was which, but I haven't looked in it yet. And so I dramatically hold them up and just show them, face them at the staff, and their eyes got great big. So I looked at it. One looked brand spanking new, and the other one looked like before we ever started. It was hugely obvious what was working.
Well, I was talking with Marie on this, about a week ago, and just that short conversation that we had, just really, this show's going to be pretty good because she's going to go into like why there are so many different types of cleaners and what they do. It's like, I don't think you should throw the grinds into a steam pitcher to clean it because it probably won't work. It's made for grinders. So she's going to go through all that. It's going to be like an awesome episode. And talk about cleaning grinders. I cleaned one the other day, and Dietrich.
I hear you did a video on that.
Yeah, do you want to talk about it, Dietrich, or you want me to play that?
Yeah, let's pop in to play the video. I'll boot it up for you guys.
And then afterwards, I've got one thing on Instagram that I'm trying to get everybody to be like, what is that? And I'll show it to Marty, but I just have to do the Instagram thing.
All right. So we're watching the montage right now. I switched over, but...
We're talking over this?
Yeah, you can talk over it if you want to.
Okay, so this actually took me more than 5 minutes to do. I wish I was as fast as that. My labor costs would go way down. But I was like listening to classical music. The audio on this is really fun because when I turn on the shot vac, it goes woo. It's like a super cool like rev engine. Doesn't sound like a shot vac. It sounds like a power tool. And so what I'm doing here is I'm just taking off every part that can be removed except for one or two things. And I want to see if you notice like what I don't take off. And I think there's a reason why I didn't. But so now that's the motor I took off. I'm taking off the top ring. This top ring, Marty, those bolts were tight. I had a really hard time getting those off. They were kind of caked in there. And those knobs on the front, those were really caked in. This one was a dirty machine. It was, the oil had been rancid and it kind of got just caked in every little nook and cranny.
I'll screen share for you guys so you guys can see it
live
too.
Hey Marty, I got a question for you. The black nut on the back of those pods for the first shot and the second shot on these K30s.
Oh yeah.
Black. How do you get those off the best way? I usually use an adjustable wrench, but look at all that dirt in there. I just vacuum that up. I had a question about that later. So I'm taking that off. I'm just, so I didn't take the back panel off. That one just, I just kind of brush it up with the toothbrush and wipe it down.
Yeah, I don't know that you'd gain anything by taking it off.
No, but that I did. That one was a hard one to get off. That little foot, that was a tough one. So I had to take that all apart and clean that up really nice.
They're on the front that the tamper pushes.
Yeah, and that front plate's always just kind of dirty.
Yeah.
So I just use soap and water. That's it, and some towels and a toothbrush and a little scrub brush, and get it really nice and polished down. And putting it back together. Oh, I take a second here, I think, to talk about. I'm like, now I'm going to
wash them.
That's all right.
With hot soapy water and dry them quickly so nothing rusts or gets off color.
And then I'm going to dry them quickly so the burrs don't rust. Because I've seen that if you don't wipe down those burrs after you clean them, they kind of get spotty.
They will get a rust sheen to them.
And then so later on in the day, I got different light. I washed all the pieces. I got a black glove on. I like that. Feel like I'm like, I don't know. It's a black glove.
You're doing a K30 surgery.
Yeah. K30 surgery. I'm just like taking this thing like all the way down, all the way back up. I inspect all the pieces, looking at the, because I was watching what Marty's show. Marty, you showed something with the Coffee Technicians Guild. Like, what does refurbishing mean?
Yes.
And you know, I feel like, is this what refurbishing is? And then also,
from what I see, you know, the quick definition of refurbing is that you don't have to change every part, but you have to know the life expectancy left in every part.
right.
And the only way to do that is basically what you just did.
I mean, I took the pods out and stuff. I mean, the only thing I don't know is like, how good is the board? You know, everything works on it. I know that it's a certain older version, but it is what it is, right? Like,
I mean, if a board works, it works, right?
a 2009 version versus the 2015, and you know, versus the 2020. But yeah, everything works on it.
Now you were talking about the pots or the adjustments, the little things, and using an adjustable wrench to get that. That actually a thin wall socket, small socket, works better on that.
I need to find one of those. I need to get one of those. That's just me being lazy. I just need to go to the hardware store and get one. It fits. But yeah, polish all that down. Got those threads really nice and cleaned up. And
that's probably the number one most important thing. Is I like seeing that sheen on those threads. I call it. It has to be hospital bed clean.
Yeah, that was pretty.
If it doesn't look brand spanking new, then that's not clean enough.
And those are brand spanking new burrs, and I cut myself, so they're sharp. And then there's a little flapper in there too that usually looks pretty grossed out. So I got that new silicone flapper.
Well, I noticed you used a little lube on the threads, and my key trick on that is to wipe off as much of it as you possibly can. Any thickness of lubricant is just a magnet for coffee grounds to collect, dirt to collect.
Yeah, I usually just run my finger, you know, with the glove on, like kind of over it, and then just take a paper towel once it's screwed down and like wipe off all that other stuff off the top. And then yeah, just make sure, like it's interesting that like the displays on these, some of them are brighter than others. It's kind of an interesting thing. And so here I already put the motor in, and then I tightened the bottom, and then I calibrated the top. I mean, I don't know why I did that, but I don't know. But that actually took me about 2.5 hours. And now it's playing again. I'm doing another one.
Yeah, we're looping through now. Here, I'll stop the
Yeah,
video.
that's
come
great.
back to you guys.
Well, we can do a breakdown of that on a show and kind of concentrate on some serious aspects of what's going on. But no, you did really good.
Yeah, and that's about it. As far as cleaning goes.
Was there any surprises? Anything unexpected going through it?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'll tell you what. Like the adjustment. What do they call the
potentiometers?
Yes. The plastic, and that front bolt. It was a little loose when I first got it. I took it off. Tried to put the bolt back on. Wouldn't stick. So there's like this little silver round washer on the back that's kind of thick. So I went ahead and I just got a thinner washer. And so then it would stick out a little bit more. So I got a little grab on that black.
Oh, got some more threads on it.
Because
okay.
I mean, it still worked. I would have replaced it, but you know, it was fine. It was tight. It worked. And like, you know, if it works, it works, and it's not broken. So like, would you have to replace the whole thing if the thread's not perfect, but it still works? You know, maybe it depends. Right?
Again, it depends on, do you expect it to pop out, you know, in a month or two? Then yeah, replace that thing. What we typically see on those potentiometers is the knob itself gets bumped or hit, and it knocks the back off of it down inside it, and then the shaft is free to move. And what that is a wiper on a disc, and the fingers of that wiper doesn't touch that disc, and so we see a lot of that on those potentiometers.
But other than that, I didn't come across anything. That one was a pretty easy one. I had another one or two that were in rougher, odder shape. So I do have one that is completely a part machine now, and I've almost stripped it down and really added value to other ones, just random parts, you know, like a
Sure.
boot here and a boot there, and, you know, a little front, those foots on the front, that those usually come off, and you got to replace those. So, but fun stuff, yeah. But that's all I got. So I think we should start. You want to start reflecting on the year, and or do you want to do the GoFundMe thing first, Dietrich? What do you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's up to you guys. I mean, if you guys want to pop on and do the GoFundMe, we can.
I kind of feel like we
confirm
should get one more subscriber in. And if
Oh,
we-
yeah.
if we hit-
Tell
if we
them.
hit, if we hit 222,
222
Or
on the dot.
220, 250, that'd be awesome, because that'd be like, that's how much each of us are given tonight. So,
Well,
but
I
yeah, you
got
wanna
some.
do that
I
right
got
now?
some sad news though. When we do transition over into my screen, John, you'll have to continue sharing, but
okay.
I won't have the. I won't be able to stream it to you guys on Zoom, so you guys will have to look on stream with the delay when we do switch
Oh,
over.
well, let's just delay it over a bit. So,
That's fine.
yeah. Why don't we do that first? Oh, and then by the way, this too, Marty. I don't know if you can see this. Are we still looking at this?
Oh, here I'll put you.
Oh,
on full
yeah.
screen.
Was that one of your projects there?
Well, this is that screen. This is the display screen on the K30, and it was working just fine. It wasn't, you know, this is on my Instagram at Coffee Tech Talk Tuesday or John Ferg 9. But like, what happened there was just I saw little black little dots in the display.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I need to get that out. That it doesn't look like it's bad, but so I took the whole thing apart because I had an extra one. And I was like, well, if I have an extra one, it works fine. This one's not perfect, and I want to
Sure.
sell this one at perfect. So I took the whole thing apart. I peeled back that front part. It's just like a film on the top, and there were some coffee
Okay.
grounds in there. So the coffee grounds got
Ugh.
into the display of that. That's how dirty this thing was. So I took a
Now,
toothbrush.
Let me
and
ask you this.
brushed it out.
Did you use air pressure, air gun to blow any of that out?
I just a toothbrush.
Okay.
And it cleaned it up really nice, and you know, it's pretty delicate on it. It was like a baby toothbrush.
The reason I ask that is a lot of times we'll see coffee inside there and it's from someone that has blown it out with an air gun
Hey, that makes sense. Yeah,
and it blows it up in there.
that could have happened. I use a shop vac usually to get a lot of those grounds out, so I might have sucked it
Yeah.
up through there.
Yeah. Possibly so.
But it was an older one. It was like, you know, it had 10 years on it.
No, that's cool.
But
I
yeah,
got to admit, I saw that and I didn't recognize what that was. You stumped me on that. I didn't recognize that part.
I had to tear it up quite a bit. At first, I got one stump out of 2020. Nice. Well, hey, Dietrich, what do you want to?
Should we pop into the full screen now with all of us? I don't usually pop
Yeah.
onto the show
Yeah.
with Cameron,
I-
but
I think-
hello.
I
Hi.
think we should.
Yeah, hey, there we go. And so we're no longer sharing mine, so I'll set mine up
If-
for the GoFundMe.
If
next.
you see me looking over here, it's because this is where the I manage the screen transition, so I can kind of transition and be like, hi. And then I go over to Marty and then John. And sometimes I screw those up because I'm trying to get other things arranged, but that's
Well, hey,
okay.
Dietrich,
How's it going? It's good. It's good.
Hey.
I feel like we've had a cool little run on Coffee Tech Talk for the end of this year, especially. We've had on some awesome guests. And just kind of going back through, I mean, I wanted to pull up the very first episode for you guys so you guys
That's
can see what
episode
that's
2.
like. But
First
here's just
one
the
goes
little intro for that.
Pop
but-
up in
Look at that crappy camera.
I
It
was
says
going to
live, so
say,
we're
we
live.
don't thank
We're finally
you enough,
live,
so
and
now
it's
that
like
you're
10
going to
10:01.
first
We're not too
subject
late
us to
for
our
this.
first deal.
So
I
you
don't
see
know.
some eyes out there?
Wow, I've grown so much. I've got like hair
maybe.
on my face now, and
Yeah,
Shut it off.
you did the
Shut it off.
Colbert
I went
route
down
where you
there, I
started off nice
disconnected
and
the
clean
wire.
shaven, and then you went into the beard.
Just kind of covering them up.
and then
no
so
one
now
would-
we're looking at
get
that
hurt,
milky
and then I
stuff, I
ordered a
guess.
hot water assembly,
5-second delay was
you
still
know,
on there.
about a
but,
month later and said I can install this for you. You know,
one thing a lot of people don't know, unless they do a YouTube show with
decent
Dietrich
price.
or anybody else who uses
So
OBS and live streams on YouTube, there's always a 5-second delay. So
There's a
sometimes,
little bit of a delay. Yeah.
you know, as participants, if you're ever on this show, sometimes you won't be able to see what we're talking about. So bring an extra computer. That's why we're all looking down here. But there is a solenoid. That's a good one. That was a dirty one.
Born and raised,
Yeah.
got into
That was a good
specialty
episode. What else did we talk
coffee,
about on
not
that
back
one?
up because it makes
We did
sense.
get kind of technical there,
I was
didn't we?
born with a crescent wrench in
Oh,
Yeah, and
yeah.
I think that's kind of one of the cool things just about the show in general, where you guys can cover so, and you were talking about this earlier, but you guys can cover so many topics because coffee is so intertwined with technology in so many different areas. Not only just like the producing, but like with the baristas, and even at the tasting level, you know, there's different things. And, you know, like I remember you breaking out box of smells and stuff like that, you know, of just like helping to dial in your nose of like certain scents and so on and so forth.
Oh,
that was
the
way
Linez
back in the
kit.
day.
The Linez kit. No,
Yeah.
I know some Linez folks, and I know that they're in France, so it's kind of a timing issue. But we should reach out to the Linez kit and have them on. That's a great idea.
Yeah, all these posters that are up on the wall back here behind us, and they're in every certified lab in the world.
Mine's almost in reach. It's so close. Oh.
Relate, yeah. Those they relate to those smell kits.
And I think that's like one of the most, like, that's like when it opens up for a lot of baristas, you know, to where, you know, are you going to love coffee or are you just going to be like, okay, cool, you know? But I mean, for me, I think when I started learning about just the flavor depth and like all the like the taste that you can get out of coffee and like all the steps involved with it, the more in love with it I became. And that also transitioned over to like a love for learning about like natural wines and stuff like that, because I feel like there is kind of a carryover with at least people who like to develop their palate, who like to try, you know, things that, you know, branch off in the weird areas sometimes. But
I think 2021 is going to be a great year to really dive into some more topics like that. Like, you know, like this last episode we had with just coffee brewing technology, or thinking about coffee brewing technology differently, was really fun. And you know, that's what barista competitions are all about, is like highlighting these really clever, you know, folks in the industry that are like, yeah, let's try something different. You know, let's push the industry forward. And I like that idea, having like, you know, guests like that on the show that have, you know, kind of come up with something and you know, taking it forward, you know.
Yep.
Who was our first guest? Do you remember, Marty? I do. That's kind of, and I would say it was a special edition, and I came up with some really cool
like
graphics.
Legit guest, where it was just like highlighting a guest, or the first like guest that was just calling into the show.
Call-ins.
Oh, we had some call-ins, but no. Our first call-in, I believe, was from Seattle, wasn't it? Our first guest was from Seattle. Number 3.
Here's up. Oh, Seattle.
Pressure,
okay, number 3. Yeah, Pressure. Yeah, let's pop that open. Let's
was
see.
It Pressure? You know, we've got some people. We've got a huge audience. I'm not gonna tell you. Or was it Ghostbirds?
Having fun.
I don't even look at this anymore.
My last thing is this.
We gotta
What
go
is this?
back in the archives. Maybe
we got to go through some of these as well. I know we've talked about kind of clipping some stuff. This is
that's the
first.
one. Try that one.
This
Go
one,
back.
yeah. I know you guys had
For me,
a
it was just like,
call
I
in
didn't know
here
what
at a
to
certain
do,
point,
Marty.
but I did want to
Like,
bring
I didn't
this
know what
up.
to do.
I brought this episode up because this has another great John saying, and I think it's a little deeper into here with what you were talking about. Yeah. Oh, hopefully.
The half empty, not half full.
Oh, you had a term, and I had it ready to go, but it looks like I skipped the playback a little bit more. I think that's where it's gonna sit here for you. I got the fun internet right now because I'm streaming. There it is. The double shot dirty lie.
Calling it out. 2020, the double shot dirty lie.
The double shot dirty lie.
2020 was a double shot dirty lie.
It looks like my mom popped in to say hi to me. So hi, Mom. Always an important supporter.
Mom.
Just the moms out. Shout out to the moms out there. I like the double shot dirty lie.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a quick one. So I went to go get a hearing exam this morning, and my right ear is 100% good. My left ear is only 34% okay. And so I told the doctor, I was like, you know, that's you know, I don't hear things, you know, the right way, and you know, and there's some nerve stuff going on behind my ear or whatever. And it was kind of a unique thing, because he said, like, a lot of people just can't hear, but you can't hear correctly, and you can't hear that well. And I'm like, that's why I'm so creative, because man, people, when they talk and they say things to me, I'm just like, what are you saying? I can't believe what you just said, because what I heard is not what you said, but man, was it funny. So I'm just cracking up all the time, because I live in alternate reality. And it's
Oh.
fun, but I feel bad because I'm just laughing at people and I'm like, yeah. So this morning it was really fun to verify that it's true. So I'm going back tomorrow. They're gonna do some more fun stuff. Figure out whether or not I can, maybe like learn another language or something. But
Well, good luck with that.
yeah. But I'm trying to think still, like was our first and hearing words that don't exist kind of make you come up with really fun things to talk about.
Well, while you dig for that, I wanted to at least talk a little bit about cupping. And I know you have the video up here for cupping with Roast Vision, and this was a little montage that you did. But, John, what was your first cupping that you can remember? I know you hosted my first cupping that I can remember.
Well, that's kind of funny. I was actually I was thinking about calling up somebody, to see if they were busy, but no, I was in Seattle, 2005. After I worked in coffee a little bit before that, but I was working at Zoka, and I was just training as a barista behind the bar, shift manager at that time, maybe. Boy, I don't know. That was a huge level up from where I was at. It's like, and that was like right after I got a job at 4 a.m. in a drive-through. So I was really happy to be at Zoka where they're taking this, like putting a lot of passion into coffee. So they had a green coffee buyer at that time, Trish Rothgeb, and so she, if you haven't heard of her, she later established Wrecking Ball Coffee in the Bay Area, and also was involved with CQI, Coffee Quality Institute. But anyway, while she was there, she went out to all the cafes and like set up these cuppings and had all the baristas kind of go through them. And I was like, my mind was blown. I was like, whoa, I didn't know coffee could be so different. And I haven't turned back since. It was awesome.
What about you, Marty? Do you have any
Well,
first memories for your coffee experience?
well, there's several first coffee experiences, but in cupping in particular, I had seen cupping from a view and over shoulders. I worked with the roastery here in town, the Roastery Coffee, for a while. My wife had worked there prior to me working there, and I had never gotten up courage enough to hone in and invite myself to any cuppings. Well, their head roaster, Normie, everyone loves Normie, Normie Killman. He kind of took me under his wing and brought me in. And it happened to be an interesting cupping that they were doing because it was all pretty decent coffees that they were evaluating that were on the table, but they were trying to palate develop, and they had put Maxwell House and Folgers both on the table, and didn't say anything to anyone. And
did you nail it? Did you get the match?
I nailed it.
Right?
I picked those out. I didn't know what was different about them at the time, but I told Normie that I really liked all these coffees, and the reason I liked them, I said, but those two in particular, they just tasted like what you'd go to the grocery store and get. I wasn't familiar with what that was, but
he said correct,
and he just smiled at me, and I didn't learn until later that that's what the deal was.
He never told you?
Well,
He just kept
not
it
right there.
Okay.
They let everyone know a little bit later, but they wanted everyone to go through it, and so not everyone had gone through it at that time. So there was a while that he held that knowledge for a while. So it was great. Another good experience that I had while I was there was when Esmeralda, La Esmeralda, Hacienda La Esmeralda Farms, when they really first started setting world records on the Best of Panama auction pricing, the roastery and PTs both bought a lot and set a world's record that year for the amount paid for green. And again, Normie, in his little secret ways, at a meeting, just happened to bring 2.2 liter air pot of that coffee. And again, it wasn't prefaced with anything. They didn't tell me this is special, but I had a moment with that coffee, and a very memorable experience. And Normie, he pointed his finger at me and said, "You could taste coffee." And
I want to talk about Normie a little bit.
yeah,
When I started at the roastery, that's when I met you too. I got my first photo of you hooking up a mod bar at the roastery, and I had never met anybody like yourself, but also like Normie, like like you. I mean, like you just knew everything. I was just like, okay, this guy's I've been in coffee for a while, but I never really looked at it in the same way before, working there at the roastery and with you, but with Normie, like everything pencil and paper, old school, traditional.
old school.
Like
Yeah.
we're talking the whole coffee quality program, pencil paper, beautiful stuff, like really intricate. This is the way it should have been done. And he was a wealth of knowledge about oxygen, moisture reading, how, nitrogen flushing bags, like every little spec, every method. And he started in the late 70s, and had been, I believe that's true, and he'd been working in the business for a very long time, and he took very good detailed notes, and I have a lot of gratitude because I learned a lot about how to run a QC program, and through him, and so I hope he's doing good. I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. He used to stop in and just darken our door a little bit and bring.
Yeah.
I say darken the door. He actually lit up the room when he comes in.
That's true. Yeah.
So I'll reach
That's
out
great.
and see how he's doing.
Well, John,
Hey,
you
I
got
found
something
out-
pulled up there. You
Well, I
wanna-
found out who our first our first official guest, I guess, was. So
Oh,
Do you
David
wanna
Easley.
share
Do you
it?
want me to pull it up? Should I pull it up?
yeah,
here?
sure, you got it. You got
All
your
right,
share.
let's see.
David
Episode
Easley,
3. Episode
David
3 we
Easley.
go.
right?
And then 48.
We've got some
48,
people.
37.
We've got
Oh,
a
was
huge
that
audience.
David?
I can tell you how. Yeah.
When you're having fun.
Awesome.
Look at the technology we're using
form
on
with
this
crystal
PowerPoint
white
Zoom.
stripe.
This was before
Yeah,
Dietrich
that's
came along.
And then
I
they
mean,
also have.
I think the
Were you
next
there,
episode I
application
came
where they
on, I
have
think on
this-
episode 4.
A reverse osmosis
Yeah.
setup.
so let's look at episode
And
4. What
then
happened
they
with
have-
episode 4?
And then we get into my really day of I can get a couple graphics up for you guys. We get the intro in, which
But
is
who's
the
on
intro
that one?
you guys
Is that,
know.
is that
I think that was
at 7 o'clock on a Tuesday? Because this
is
is kind of like now I'm
Is
feeling
that
bad. 'cause
Bun?
I don't
that,
remember.
That was the
Bun's on Hawaii.
Okay.
yeah. Buns
I won't
Hawaii.
forget that one.
That was the dirty double shot dirty lie.
The double shot.
And I don't think you guys had a guest on this week. I think the next week was the guest, and that was Bun.
You're right, and that's why
where-
I kind of got that wrong because I thought Bun was our first guest, but then I was like, no, it was David. That's right, of course. How can you forget? And it was just so early on in the show.
And then so
You
the
know?
dedicated.
Yep.
We'll need to bring David. He and Ruth are doing some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
As far as trying to educate people and connect people, consumers with technicians.
And it's
So-
interesting too because this is episode 5 was kind of the first time where you guys are like, we should just try to have guests on every week. And that's just kind of what Coffee Tech Talk is now. But I
And
think
I
it's
think
fun, we're
Yeah.
if you're watching the show right now, we're definitely in the infancy of the show. A lot of the guests that you may have seen on in the early episodes will probably be back on in the show anyway, the more traction we pick up. And it's another thing too that to mention as well, if you guys want to see stuff, if you guys want to see specific episodes or different people for us to reach out to, just leave it in the comments of this video.
I want to see. I want to see
Send a
Carolyn.
DM to John on Instagram or any of the guys or Marty. Send an email to Marty. They say their call outs at the end of each show.
Yeah.
I want to see Melissa and Carolyn again.
Yeah,
from,
those girls had
fun.
awesome information.
We didn't give them a just platform. I think it was just a little bit too early on. We just kind of getting our stuff together. But I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
when we get him back on, we'll do it right. So thank you again for being on the show.
Yeah, I think everybody kind of like up to now pretty much have. I mean, moving into next year, I think we've got some plans in store that we had talked about in the last couple of. What's funny is we do when we do Coffee Tech Talk, we have 6:30 is kind of when we meet up in the Zoom call. I get the scenes arranged for everyone in the background of everything through the software.
gonna show that?
OBS. I mean, I can
show it?
show it if you guys want to see it.
Yeah.
I can
Show that-
show it here.
That
Let's
spaghetti, that OBS spaghetti that we have on Tuesday nights.
oh man, let's
So
pop
OBS
up.
is the open broadcast system, right?
I'll add a new
Software,
scene here.
right?
Give me 1 second. So
But yeah, and that's kind of like you know,
Here we
and
go.
you did some work with us with the Arbor Day Foundation too to
I
help
did.
do some
know.
live shows, and this was kind of like a testing ground for some of my other work, where we wanted to kind of talk a little bit more about live broadcasting for coffee agroforestry and stuff. So, but then I kind of got introduced to OBS. I'm like, well, this is amazing, but it also takes someone who's amazing to make it work. So look at that.
I will say too, we've got I just noticed in the comments as the comments are filling up and they're starting to pop through. Madeline Garcia popped in and said, "When are you coming to Hawaii, John, Marty? When are you guys going to Hawaii, and when are you going to do a true Hawaiian episode?"
Oh,
So,
believe me, I have been
I
trying to
can
work
see
on
it.
that.
I
yeah.
can see that.
Yeah, actually,
But yeah, no, this is the background setup. You can see normally this is much bigger, but we're doing something else with this episode today where I'm screen sharing this section. But yeah, this is ultimately kind of what you see in the background. I manage like each one of these kind of layers to kind of arrange everything. I make the background video, so on and so forth, and we can switch to John. And
What
say
was
hi
your
to
most
John or
challenging
Marty
episode?
and I. Oh,
man,
okay,
we
come
show
on.
that
We
one?
all know that one. we all
That's
know
an
that
easy-
one.
was
That
it was
one's
it
an
last
easy one.
week?
Yeah.
It was the one with
Well,
uh,
we brought Marcus
here we
back
go. Let's
for
do
the
this.
giveaway.
Yeah, we when we did the when we went from 3 guests to 4 guests, I had to
Well, that
do
was episode
scene
18.
transitions. Yeah, it was.
Oh, that was
episode
so
18.
great.
Yeah, that was a great episode though too. That was such a cool episode, and to be able to talk to somebody across the world just through the mutual connections, and like obviously when we did stuff with Eco Tierra, and you can real quickly just see a little cat in the background.
Oh
here.
my gosh, that was crazy. That was
see
with like
that
with we gave away a Bonavita brewer and
Yeah.
to someone who really apprecited it. I think that
Yeah.
she lived outside of Chicago. Marcus was on the show. We had how many other from Colombia, Santa Marta, and it was just a great show.
And I think it also just kind of shows, like John and Marty with this show,
Mildred.
you guys are really down and open to, open it up to all of the coffee community to say, like, we want to talk to anybody and everybody who has unique knowledge when it comes to the coffee community. And I think that's what I like about helping you guys out with the show, is because I get to learn a lot about coffee stuff that I didn't think I didn't even really think about when I was a barista. So
Yeah, and having Zach on for his for having
His
that
invention.
the color, the rose color reader, that he really hit it out of the park too. I mean, it became one of our most viewed episodes, I think, for sure.
yeah.
And
And-
I'm still trying to figure out like how that works and why. And
Yeah,
I
and
think it's
I don't know if you saw on his Instagram, on the Espresso Vision Instagram, he had let me pull it. I can pull it up here. If I can spell it right, there we go. He had some new technology that he was working with, but he, it's very interesting some of the stuff that he posts on his Instagram as well.
Yeah, and
where
it
he's
works.
like
I
saying the
love it.
transparent acrylic there, he really does a good job of showing the back end of all that stuff.
and I like the videos in that episode. If you have a chance that, if you're watching this and you want to check it out, you just go check this episode out. It's episode 12. And he kind of shows how the machinery or his equipment was calibrated through some, taking some snapshots and whatnot.
Hands down, the funniest episode was Heather.
Oh yeah.
You guys had so much fun talking to Heather, and I was like, okay, this is an instant hit. But
and ever since then, I bought a bunch of stuff from him too. So whatever it was, I was like, you'd be on our show, and so, yeah, okay. Now I'm buying a bunch of stuff. But no, like that was a great show. I learned a lot, and about espresso parts, and again, that's what episode 11. So if you want to learn a little bit about, espresso parts and how to get
what's some of you guys' favorite things that you guys have learned hosting Coffee Tech Talk this year? Some of the things that have stuck out to you.
Marty, go for it.
I think probably my fondest thing was when we brought what's her name from Columbia,
Mildred.
Yeah, thank you. Because she was such a wealth of knowledge and was not afraid to talk. It was funny. You'd ask her a question and she would talk for a long time. I really felt for the interpreter.
Yeah, I did mention that episode. I think I was like, if she wants to like short or like break it up, break her answers up a little bit, she's welcome to. And I think he was like, no, I got it. It's good.
He did such a great job and portrayed her passion too. It came across, and also at the end of that, I asked her two things. What was her toughest thing, and she kind of talked about dealing with the violence and stuff that is prevalent out there around a lot of these coffee producing countries, but definitely there. But then I asked her what her fondest thing was, and she kind of said the same thing, other than it was that she can isolate herself from that violence. So it kind of puts things in perspective. As bad as it gets, and as bad as 2020 has been, here in the United States, a lot of times we don't have it as bad as or as many challenges as other people might have around the world.
That was a great episode too, because Guillaume from Ecotira or Elo Finca was also on the show doing a great job with the interpretation. But that, like having that look from the outside into a conversation that folks like myself who had traveled a lot to find out a lot more about this traceability and transparency of coffee, where you're buying coffee from, and anything less than fluency or you don't get the full story. Like I can get around with Spanish, and I can, do a little Coffee Tech Talk in Spanish too, where we talked about, pulping and other types of fermentation, but a lot of things are lost in translation. So Guillaume having that, having a key role there, where he's not only translating, but he's understanding the conversation at multiple levels, and understands where I am and where she is and where he is, and I just think it was a great opportunity to just be like, we're going to get through this. It's going to be fun, and it's a live translation. That's kind of great. But my other favorite episode, or not favorite episode, well, my favorite thing that I really thought about was the research that Savory Brands is doing with SCA, and they kind of explained how the just the perception of the bag which the coffee is in has such a powerful impact on flavor and how you perceive the flavor. Like if you put a red bag in front of you and a green bag in front of you, and then with the exact same coffee, people are going to think, when you drink that coffee, you're going to think that the red bag is better. I mean, unless you're told that up front, like, hey, all the bags different color, but inside joke, hey, they're all the same. But the truth of the matter is, we're humans, and we're pretty simple to be, we have a lot of like instincts, And
Yeah.
that's the research. I was like, yeah, I can't wait to hear more about that.
Yeah, that perception matters, you know. And you see
Power of
that with
perception.
every industry though too, you know. The packaging is almost as important as the recipe because people won't get to the recipe once if they don't buy the packaging, you know. So
Like $2 chuck, right? I mean, is it really that bad? I mean, I'd pay at least $4 for a $2, or maybe even $6. I mean, it's not that bad. But well, hey, so should we do the GoFundMe thing? I want to kind of do
yeah,
that.
go ahead and knock that out. Let's go pop
got it
back
up.
over to you guys. Yeah.
I've got it up. I'm sharing it right now. So I
Perfect.
want everybody, all 8 of you who are watching right now, and all 350 of you who will watch this within the next 3 months. That's my goal, right, Marty?
Yeah.
350?
Yeah, our
I don't know.
year-end wrap up.
Year-end wrap-up.
The most
Year-end
exciting
wrap-up.
episode we've had yet.
We're
New
gonna
Year's
highest
Eve, counting
views.
down.
We're gonna clip it down, right? We're gonna
Yeah.
clip it all the way down. So I'm gonna go to this donate green button on the top right-hand corner. I'm gonna click it. All right. And then it's gonna ask you choose your donation frequency. Well, one time for now, and I'm gonna do 250 because Marty, you're doing 250. That equals 500. And so like Barista Magazine and Marcus, they're both gonna be doing this. So I'm gonna do that. Oh, platinum. Has anyone told you how amazing you are lately? The only person who's asked me that was GoFundMe, and I'm doing great. Thank you guys. Thank you all at GoFundMe. Let's continue this. Y'all might even get my
Okay,
I'm gonna
we'll
tell you where
hold on. We'll
no, this
we'll
is good.
cut
I want to share this part. I want to
We'll
share
cut
this.
it out, John. It's on the internet.
No, this part I want to write the message.
You
live.
can say the message out loud, John. I'll
Oh,
let you read your
okay.
message.
I was just gonna say this is just my name and if you wanted to get in touch with me, this is where you could send me some stuff. This is my phone number. There is no credit card information on here. But anyway,
All
you know,
Yeah.
thanks all from I don't know. Yeah, thanks from half of the Coffee Tech Talk team, or a third, but whatever, half of the Coffee Tech Talk team. That's about it. And then I'm going to push continue. And then this is where I say goodbye.
Okay, this is where John says goodbye.
Yeah. Okay, is it
Well,
off?
John, I'll let you fill. It's off. I'm gonna let you fill out your info. Maybe don't screen share right now,
Oh no, you guys can tap into this.
or bring it onto another monitor. Bring it onto
I got
another
this.
monitor.
I got
Even
this
better.
credit card off.
There
the,
you
off,
go. Perfect.
I got this
Onto another
credit card off
monitor.
eBay.
This-
This credit card was cheap.
This happens every single episode. John tries to put his credit card information on screen, and every single time I have to just work around it.
I don't see why you just let it go.
he's
All right.
he's gonna start reading it out loud.
Apparently, I am not a robot, and you can add me to the mailing list too. We'll finish that up.
We've
I have
got
18 minutes to finish this up. Hey, Marty, did you get it done yet?
I'm still filling out. Mine didn't self-populate. Like yours.
and look, if you guys wanna do it after the episode as well, perfect. There you go. That's all we need to see. But yeah,
No, I'm done.
again,
You wanna
thank you
share it
guys
up
for
again?
subscribing. And if you guys are watching this show after we are finished with the show, with this, if you're watching the replay of this, I should say, tell a friend about it. Tell your friend. Oh, you got to go back into screen share, otherwise our cameras are all messed up.
Uh-oh.
That's okay.
I
I'll
messed
put us
it up.
over here for right now. It's okay. But yeah,
Oh, I
let
like
people
that. I
know
like
about
the
it.
lower half of it.
Okay,
Let's just
all
do
right.
that. Let's just finish this out. Should we just finish this
All right,
out?
we'll finish it out this way. That's fine. But yeah,
Yeah.
let people know, if you got barista friends, have them check out the show. We're going to be doing a lot of like really unique, I feel like, and creative things that aren't just your typical podcast episodes with the Coffee Tech Talk. And we'll be branching off and definitely talking to various different aspects of the coffee community as well. But a lot of fun and exciting things to come, and I think I'm excited for some of the ideas that are in the works for sure. It's going to be me pulling my hair out, but it's worth it.
Yeah, we'll throw some challenges
It's
your way.
long, so it's got to get shorter anyway, right?
I really do think, Marty, to wrap it back up to bring it
There
back
you
to
go.
the start of the show, getting international throwdown or coffee cultural exchange on the show. Anybody who's out there that knows someone from other side of the planet that's in a relatively workable time zone, I believe. Like, so like if it's 7 p.m. here and if it's 3 a.m. there, that's kind of rough for us. But I mean, maybe we could work on it. I don't know. It depends. But I think the Korea or even Japan would work because they're behind. So at 7 o'clock at night, it's only about 10 a.m. there, something like that. I don't know. It's not too much at night there, but I think that'd be fun. What else were we talking?
Since John let the cat out of the bag. Yeah, we're planning on having like an episode where we do a podcast, we talk to some baristas, we do some of that stuff, and then we do have a latte art throwdown. Like, so there's definitely a lot of things coming up that we're excited to share with our audience, and we're excited to build our audience as well. The more people that are involved with this, the more people who hang out and watch the live shows. I think, the early people who do kind of sit and watch the live shows on a regular basis are going to appreciate kind of like where it started and what building a community does. And I think it's going to be fun. It's definitely going to be interesting.
And I think maybe one of these episodes, hopefully I'll be doing it from Hawaii. So
that's the dream, right? COVID's done and John's on a beach in Hawaii.
Did you know that
That's a goal.
Yeah.
That's good.
What would be nice is once COVID's over, if we can have a live episode where everything is in one room with a guest. I think that would be really hip as well.
Well, not that I think Marty, you've hinted to that. Like we should do that down in was it like New Orleans?
During the SCA.
Yeah,
Is that in
SCA show
October,
would be pretty sweet.
Whatever that is, if the stars line up and everything works out, yeah, I'd love to do that. Have a spot down there for us to broadcast from, and then do the old timers called it the man on the street, where we go out and we just grab somebody,
What kind of, do you have any topics that you're thinking about wanting to do this year? Anything that we haven't hit on yet, or I don't know?
Well, I know just by virtue of Workbench Coffee Labs doing more and more online classes, of it, there's going to be tons of little snippet videos and stuff that are going to be technical, more into the barista, or not the barista, the espresso machine, looking into, changing heat elements or diagnosing heat elements, which I had to do today. But I can't help but there's going to be some low-hanging fruit that's going to get us back into doing some of those. I look forward to that because that's my world.
And I want to do like a quick thank you to the Specialty Coffee Association U.S. chapter for giving me this reason to be like, hey John, go do something. You're a North Central Regional Coordinator for the United States newly formed chapter for the SCA, and there's so many great people on the team there, and we have these weekly or monthly meetings, and we get to stay connected, but it's a little group, and everybody is welcome to be a part of that group on the Slack channel, and if you want to be a part of it, just get in touch with me. But it's different to have, it was really nice to have that connection with the coffee community, and just realizing, wait, a lot of people don't have that connection, or they don't know how to get on a Slack channel. Even if they did, what would they do when they got there? But having these coffee talks that other people are doing, like Beth down in Austin also was having weekly chats on Zoom and whatnot, and a lot of people are doing a lot of great things. But it's just hard to find out about this stuff because we are not meeting one-on-one or face to face. So, but I'm so thankful that they took the initiative to get online and to keep the community going and growing, and it's going to be, like you said, a really interesting 2021, so I'm looking forward to it. I mean,
well, John, you've picked up the ball in a big way in doing this. You said, what can I do? And you come up with this idea, and
yeah. Well, I couldn't do it without you, or it wouldn't be anywhere near as fun. I would just feel like I've been talking to a computer, or Dietrich, but Dietrich,
and I don't have the expertise that Marty has.
Oh,
nor the great beard. I think Marty's beard is a little better than mine.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit more seasoned.
Yeah, I like that. It's got a little more salt on it.
We should have gotten Tamara on the show. That would have been a good.
We should talk to Tamara sometime for sure.
I'd be like, hey, come on over.
Tam
sit on
had
the
a
board.
very cool coffee journey.
Yeah,
but,
and everybody that's been on the show knows Tamara.
that's so
Like,
funny
"Oh,
too.
Tamara.
It's like,
Oh,
oh yeah,
yeah,
Tamara. But no, yeah, we'll definitely we're going to, I think with 2021, you know, and I told John as well, and John and Marty, I was like, guys, if you ever need a break, you're more than welcome to just like let me know and we can set things up. But they didn't, and we're here now, and this is awesome. And I think the 20th episode is just kind of like a little marker for us to kind of look
Yeah,
back and say, like, look,
this
we've
might
come pretty
be-
quick.
Yeah,
We've come-
and this might be
made
our
some
second
progress.
longest episode, and we aren't really talking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're just gonna keep this going and going. So I'm gonna like kind of cut it there, maybe just say like I've had a great time, guys. Catching up this
Been
week.
great.
I'm really looking forward to the next 3. Wow, and you know, so I think it. Oh, I already forgot the order. I think Rachel's going to be on from La Marzocco, and then we have William from Caravella, and then Maria with her next. And then after that, sky's the limit. I'm hoping to, you know, I've reached out to a couple people, and we'll see where it goes. But there are so many people in this industry that you and I know, Marty. It's just a matter of, you know, aligning the stars.
Sure.
And, you know, last minute, like, hey, are you available in 2 days? Like Marcus, you know, like Marcus was so great. He was like, yeah, sure. Yeah,
He
I can
really
do that.
jumped
Like,
into it.
gosh. And that was just such an essential, you know, wonderful episode, and GoFundMe and all the people there. So thank you so much. And this year's been great. And keep on those, you know, bringing in the subscriptions. Subscribe to YouTube, and it's going to take your friends, because you're already on here. I feel bad. It's like, you know, all of our friends can't add that dollar because they already did. But now you can have the opportunity to tell your friends, like, hey, post something on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. I mean, you know, this whole, you know, like, you know, always driving to have more subscribers, is it really that important? No, but kind of. It gets you a bigger audience. Okay?
It's gonna help
Look,
us
John wants to make this a
sustain
full-time gig. If we can get
Yeah,
if we can get
I wanna-
John to a full-time gig on this, then
I wanna
he'll
at
be
least-
happy.
I want to at least pay for the camera and the lighting or whatever.
There you go.
Or
Perfect.
at least have it to a point where we can get this message out to a wider audience and make a bigger impact, and get people thinking differently about coffee technology and it, you know, utilizing it and really, you know, working with it and learning more. Because Marty and Dietrich, I've learned so much since
I agree.
September, because I've been
Oh, so have I.
had my feet to the fire, and you know, I got to figure this stuff out. I got to come up with a question. What is this? Every week to Marty, when I'm like, he knows everything. This is going to be too easy. What am I
will
going to
say,
say?
out of John, you put in a significant amount of work into this, and it definitely shows. And Marty, it's so awesome to like hear. I was genuinely shocked when I came into this, like how much knowledge and connections are just between the two of you guys. I mean, it's a much smaller community than I think a lot of people who are even at the barista level, at the more advanced barista level, it's a much smaller community than many people think.
I think we got an error.
Well, what's really cool about it is
Did my
there's
mic
really
bug out?
awesome.
No, I got like on YouTube, it's just off. It
Oh.
says error occurred. We might be
Oh,
offline.
I think that might be on your end. It looks like we're still up on mine at least.
Oh, darn it. That was
But-
just
but
escape way.
my point is
I want to get out of here. I'm like, are we
John's,
done?
John's trying to get out of here.
Yeah.
No, there's some great people, and that's what's really cool about the coffee industry. And I don't know if it's that way with all industries or niche markets, but it is with the coffee industry. There's some characters, and by and large, 99.9% of them are just awesome people.
Yeah.
You know, the ones that'll help each other out, be willing to with little to no notice, you know, help out on a talk show, you know, or whatever. No, it's the list goes on. They help each other. There's just a ton of good people. I don't know how to.
And more to come too. Like, this is a great platform that we, you know, I hope that it's a great platform for a lot of people that do have products or anything that, you know, they're having difficulty connecting to their audience because of no trade shows. You know, there's a lot of booths that you can't have. Well, you know, this is a booth and it's free. It's a free booth right now.
For sure.
I mean, it's free.
It's a free booth.
Yeah,
It's a free booth
It's something
with a
else to
bigger
mention
audience.
as well, where, you know, I feel, and obviously we're wrapping this up and everything, but again, anybody who's watching this episode and listening to this point, if you ever have any coffee questions at all, doesn't have to be relevant to the guest, doesn't have to be like, if you're a coffee expert and you can't even find an answer, you can't Google it or anything like that, or if it's something where you're like, oh, I'm kind of curious about John and Marty or the guest's opinion on it, let us know in the comments. And definitely like let us know in the comments of the episodes as well if you're watching the playback on it. And John and Marty will pop in and answer questions in the comments for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we'll answer it. We might not get it right, but we'll give you something.
And then Lowered Hemi pops in and says, "Be willing to pull apart brand new grinders and change the color." Lol. So,
I've got a pallet. I've got a pallet of brand new grinders right now that we're pulling them apart and changing the color.
Yeah, but
I got a K30 you can change the color on.
I think that'd be
That's
cool.
the one I was going to say. The one thing I was disappointed in your video tonight, John, was that it ended up, after you put it all back together, the exact same color as started.
Well, I didn't get the spray can out and just like do like a lime green on it.
And
I almost did
Hemi
that.
popped in to say Marty has our puck press also.
Oh, hey, I need to get those guys on the show. The puck press. I want to talk about them. That
What was
technology.
that jumped up on there?
Lowered Hemi is the username.
Oh, yeah, that's Ted, I
Okay.
believe. Hi, Ted.
Hey,
But anyway, yeah, I'll help.
Awesome.
This is normally I'm saying this with my mic muted in the background of Zoom. But John, ask Marty, where to get in contact with him.
oh, hey,
Show outro.
Close out the show.
Oh, and hey, by the way, last week, let's go outro. But
Yeah,
last
yeah,
week, I was soaking those beans in that jar. I don't know if I told you, but it turned out to extract just fine. So if you don't have a
really?
grinder and if you need to brew some coffee, just throw some whole bean coffee into water and let it sit for 2 days in your refrigerator. Then you'll have coffee that's brewed. Now, I won't tell you that it's going to taste great or the flavors are there, but it did taste like it had the acidity, it had some flavor, but it had some creamy, pasty kind of Elmer's glue kind of thing going on to it. But, and then all you have to do then after that is throw it in the microwave for about 3 minutes.
With the beans in.
Yeah, sure. That'll help extract it even more. Well, you can take the beans out, or you can pour it in a cup and then use your favorite to-go plastic mug, make sure it's microwave safe, and throw it in there and cook it up for another 5 minutes, and then get some milk and steam that in your microwave too. And then,
John,
yeah. Bad advice? What?
Did you see right there?
This is a coffee show for
subscription
people who are
is
like
going
nerdy
down.
about coffee. People are going to be like, why am I listening to this guy?
No, but going back to it, like I had someone like really interesting on Instagram, like reply to me about the law of something about that, the extraction, and it was pretty cool. And Marty, I'm wondering if you knew this. If he said it was one thing here, Darcy's law in action. And if we Google that, or if you look up on Wikipedia, Darcy's law, it's about saturation and fluid and all this stuff. And it was that episode that kind of engaged that crossover from the brewer, like the actual he's a head brewer at a beer company. And he was talking about the very similarities between extraction out of materials.
Yeah, I think a little voice in the back of my head is telling me that I've ran across that. It has to do with, things reach a saturation point and they stop pulling things out, which is kind of interesting. And I know we're trying to get off the show, but that's kind of one of the processes that is used to decaffeinate coffee, is that they take water and they put all these beans in it, and it is a solvent. It pulls all these things out. Then they take that water and they pull everything out of it except the caffeine. Okay?
Yeah.
No, I take that back. They pull the caffeine out and leave everything else in it. There you go.
Hey.
So they extract just the caffeine out.
And
So then they put a new batch of beans in there.
Yep.
And it only gives off the caffeine.
My light bulb just went off, Marty, for the next
Okay.
guest. Got to get someone in the decaf world to come on the show.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
So,
interesting.
that would be really cool. But that's that
Yeah.
that
So
law that
here it
you're
is.
talking about.
Darcy's law is an equation that describes the flow of a fluid through a porous medium. And the equation is way over my science abilities. It says that the discharge rate Q is proportional to the gradient of hydraulic head and the hydraulic conductivity, blah, blah, blah.
You
Way
lost me at
not
Q.
me. But it's
Yakety
great. Maybe we should get someone on there.
Yeah, no, the sky's the limit. Like you said,
Yep.
let's get some experts in here that can talk it a lot better than we can.
Yeah, and the decaf conversation always comes up, and we really need to nail that down. So that's
For
great.
sure.
So
Okay.
outro is here, and it is upon us. So
Marty, let's hear it.
the end of the show, the end of the year.
Yeah,
the
I
end
guess
of
I
it-
guess this is
of
the
it
last
all.
show of the last show
This
of
is
2020.
the end of it all.
man.
Like
That's it.
GoFundMe we've done what we've came to do there. Barely. As far as that's going to go on and on. So keep those dollars coming in, going straight to GoFundMe. Yeah, just
Subscribe.
you want to talk a little bit about
Subscribe.
GoFundMe before we go, or just watch half of our other episodes?
Yeah,
and you-
just,
go on GoFundMe.
just go to the GoFundMe episode. I think that's the best way to learn about GoFundMe.
Yeah,
But
more than just tips is my favorite line that Marty says about it. More
Yeah.
than just tips, right?
It is.
So Marty, how do we get in
It's
touch with you?
tips.
And
Workman's
any last
Coffee
words
Labs.
for 2020?
Well, just be safe. Take care of each other. Take care of yourself. Be safe. We're not out of the woods on COVID yet, so be smart. And we'll get there. We'll get there. And 2021 has got to be a better year. We'll still be doing this next year on this date, and we're going to be hooping and hollering and talking about a lot of wild and crazy guests that we've had on in 2021. No, just be safe out there, guys.
I think the
How do we get in
beauty,
touch with you?
beauty of starting this show, by the way, during COVID is the fact that we can do it from anywhere. Like Marty can be, somewhere else. John can be somewhere else. I can be somewhere else. And it can still go on,
Yeah,
And,
no, that's great. So to get a hold
And
of
we
me,
can get
it's
together and do it.
Yeah.
workbenchcoffeelabs.com. We'll get you there. Look for some really cool classes coming out.
All right.
If you want to tear up some equipment, we'll show you how.
Yeah, I've got some. I'll be in some of those classes for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
To get in touch with me, just go to this YouTube channel. You can email me at coffeetechcentral@gmail.com, or look at all that information that I put up there on GoFundMe. You know where I live. You can send me money. You can send me hellos. You can send me anything or nothing. Samples. I love samples. Cards of like, I'd like to be on your show. And I'll be like, that'd be great. I'll write you back. Like the lost art of handwriting. I kind of want to get that back. I've got a ton of stamps for you. So you write me, I write you back. That's it. Thank you so much, and have a good night, everybody.
I'll say this too: if
y'all in
you
2021.
if you like what you're seeing with Coffee Tech Talk and you want to do it with yourself, you can reach out to me as well. DietrichCook.com. Hey@DietrichCook.com is the email for that. If you like
Excellent.
videos, if you need video work, that's what I do. But this has been hands down the most fun little side thing that I do. And with you guys, this is obviously like a little hobby project, but the streaming stuff has been an interesting term for sure. I enjoy doing it. So if you ever want something like this, you can always reach out to any one of these guys, and they'll link you up with me. But yeah,
It's been fun.
Awesome.
All right. Well,
Awesome.
see y'all in
see you
2021.
guys, see you guys next year. Bye.
Bye-bye.